Rights and Measures Act seek to protect consumer rights and citizens of this country in terms of measures of things and even the way that we price our commodities.
All right.
I tell you, what was intended was that the ministries of commerce and trade, at the national level, at the state levels, were required to regulate how things were measured and weighed in this country. So if we're going by a kilogram, you say if a kilogram of beef shall be 1,000 naira, it shall be that anybody who was going to sell beef in the market or anywhere in this country must go by the scale. And so if you must buy beef, you go to the market, you already know that as you're going to the market, you put 1,000 naira in your pocket. You are sure of getting a kilogram of beef. But today, because prices are not regulated, you even go to the market with 5,000 naira, you're not sure of the quantum of beef you get.
But this is where
fish.
This is where the argument is. Can you really now say that a kilo of beef should be 1,000 naira, given that there is the reflection of the foreign exchange on our economy? There is the reflection of the removal of subsidy on petrol on our economy. So can we really now say, oh, this should be the price? Because these things, before a cow, where we get beef usually from, not be selling for 700,000, before it could have been sold for 100 or 200 or 1,000. So these are the issues.
It's possible when you want to regulate or control prices, people don't seem to understand that even in the United States that there are subsidies in certain essential services and goods, right? And that's the purpose. That's the reason. The problem we had here is that we prioritize wrongly, okay? So when we are deliberate that we're really going to ensure that we have food security and our people really are fed, and again, probably are housed in terms of shelter, and these particular areas of these items in the schedule of Price Control Act, then we'll make other policies with that intention to achieve those objectives. In all of these, you would have a deliberate policy to regulate even price in your country. And if you itemize these services and goods, and because you are deliberate, you want to control the prices because of their influence on the citizens in your country, then you also okay, if you say it's about food items, beef for instance, and then because you want to control the price of beef and then fix a price floor, that's the minimum of how much a cow should cost, and you realize that all the cows that you get in this country are imported from either Holland or the UK or elsewhere or in Canada, and then that because of the exchange rate, then your prices are going to be high here. So what do? You'll be deliberate to ensure that you produce more beef here. Yes, you farm cattle and rear in home so that you don't suffer the exchange differentials in a way that will affect your control of price. Otherwise, if you can't, you subsidize that sector of the economy.
All right.
Like I said, we prioritize wrongly when we probably subsidize sectors that benefit more of the elite, and then those who are able to afford for these commodities and services at the expense of those who cannot afford. But if you have the right priorities, then it means that you subsidize services and goods that will be required by a greater proportion of your population. And of course, even those who are lower on the economic, if you like, rung of the ladder. So that's how I think that an economic policy should be considered, and then decision making in this regard. It is not impossible to control prices. Like I said, even the advanced economists control prices in certain areas on certain commodities and services.
Okay.
And especially when you know that commodities and services are very essential to the survival and welfare of your citizens. You could see that this is taking us back to even Section 14 of the Constitution, that the primary responsibility of government is to continually ensure the welfare of citizens and to maximize the welfare of citizens.
All right.
So if you know and you realize that is your primary responsibility, then all of your policies should be directed towards enhancing the welfare of citizens, including your exchange regime, including your monetary policies, your fiscal policies, and of course, even your priorities for subsidizing commodities and services in your country.
Will the price control of these items make it very cheap? Like petrol, for instance, we're going to see the price crash.
the purpose for price control is actually to establish a maximum of the price of any commodity. That's the primary objective. And then most fundamentally is to ensure that there is accessibility and affordability of that commodity. So it will mean that if today, let's say the government agrees to comply with this decision of the court, and then to set up, because I doubt if that's board is even in operation in any part of the country, because at the state level it's supposed to be price control committees. So if the governments at the different levels actually set up this board and the respective committees, then it will mean that those prices, when controlled, become lower than what we have at the moment. Because if it's not, then there is no difference at all. But it's actually intended to peg a price. One reason is so that there will be that fluctuation and, if you like, arbitrariness in pricing of commodities, so that you buy a particular commodity, a central commodity here at 1 naira, tomorrow you buy at another place at a different amount, or even in the same market. You walk into the market today in Port Harcourt, you go to Creek Road Market, and you buy probably a basin of curry at probably 10,000 naira, and then you come tomorrow and they say it's now 12,000 naira. But if you have a price control regime, then it could be that, oh, a basin of curry sells at 12,000 naira. Everybody knows it's 12,000 naira at the maximum, and that is the price ceiling. So anywhere you go, any market you go, that's the price that you buy curry, at least for certainty. Somebody, I was told the other day that a certain man was buying on social media. He went to the market with 2,000 naira, and perhaps he thought that he could buy some stuff and then go back home. But every day the market he went, whatever he had to probably ask the price exceeded the money he had, and he went. So that's the uncertainty that can actually come on a situation where price is not controlled. But if you have a control regime, then there will be certainty, the prices will be fixed, and then it will be lower than we have at the moment. Whatever it is to fill the gap will be government policy in many regards. Like I said, in area of tariff, in area of custom and excise, and in area of even subsidy, and probably even local production. So these are strategies that can actually enable government to meet the difference between what would have been the market competitive price in terms of demand and supply, fixing the price in a free economy, and then in a controlled price regime.